So next up we have Better Call Saul again, carrying on from next week. Like all three of us have now seen the first two episodes, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, yep.
So what do you think?
I thought it was great. I'm down. It's something I didn't really want. I thought Breaking Bad is the best show of all time. But just watching the pilot and the second episode, I realized how much I really missed that world and that direction from Vince Gilligan and the actors and how it's shot and how it's edited and how the story is told. That is something it's just something on my life that's been missing since I finished Breaking Bad, and it's so cool to have that back and feel like Breaking Bad too, and at the same time not be like a carbon copy of this Breaking Bad is one of the darkest shows ever made for sure, and this sure has those dark moments, but has this comedic timing, with Saul being the lead. He had great comedic moments in Breaking Bad, and for him carrying the show, I was pretty skeptical because I thought he was a great character in Breaking Bad. Don't get me wrong, but I didn't think he had the power to carry a whole show by himself. But obviously, Vince Gilligan proved us all wrong.
Yeah, yeah. One of the interesting things that Ange said last week, which I thought was a bit iffy, but it turned out true. It's shot on digital, and you can tell the difference between
Yeah,
film and
you
digital.
definitely can.
Like I watched it and I was like, it's so much clearer, but it loses something from it, like especially in the Breaking Bad world.
Yeah, and I think that's intentional, to be honest. I think that they're wanting to go a new direction with the mood and the tone that they're set up, and I think with Saul's storyline and his personality, it fits digital better. It's a bit more clearer, with Breaking Bad, that the grittiness that you had with film. I think that was Vince Gilligan's choice, and I think he has the resources to shoot Better Call Saul on film if he wanted to. So there's a clear reason why they didn't do that. At least I think.
Yeah, it does give it a bit of a different feel, a bit of its own thing. Like
Yeah.
this show. You can think of it as. Do you think you would have enjoyed it as much if it wasn't related to Breaking Bad? If there was none of the returning characters, these are all new characters. Would you have enjoyed it the
See,
same level?
that's the thing with it. Like in the first episode, we got basically 2 or 3 nods to people that we've already seen. Like I won't spoil it because I haven't seen it yet, but you get 2 or 3 nods to characters that are in it. They can't sustain that for like 12 episodes in this series. I think it's 12 episodes. So it's going to be interesting to see how it pans out, because like the first 2 episodes is like, oh, here's X person, here's X person.
Right. And I hope they don't force feed us those cameos.
It's one of those things. Let it get really off to a good start because there's existing people that the viewers would know about. Like no other TV shows really have that privilege, just to like be able to throw in characters and just for the first time reveal them, and people know exactly who they are. So they use that to good effect in the pilot there, I think.
Yeah, I thought it's a well-made prequel that does what prequels are supposed to do, and at the same time, it's not something that somebody who hasn't seen Breaking Bad can't pick up and get the same thing out of it. They're like, "Who's this?" I won't say the guy, but when in episode 2, the conflict with one of the characters from Breaking Bad returns, and that feeling of knowing that guy and how dangerous he is from what we've seen in Breaking Bad, that wouldn't have been there for somebody just watching Better Call Saul for the first time and having not seen Breaking Bad. So I think it speaks to a niche audience in a way, but I guess that's fine.
Yeah, see, the thing with that scene is that you kind of lose the tension in the scene. Like in Breaking Bad, you basically know that any character can go like that, like instantly.
Yeah.
But when they're so, like, again, I won't spoil it, but when the main character's in the threat, you're just watching it like laid back, going, like how is he
he's
getting out of this?
Right.
Rather than like in the other ones, like anyone could have gone in the previous series any time.
Yeah.
But it just loses quite a bit of tension because you know he's going to get out of that like quite unharmed.
But I couldn't see them killing off Walt halfway through Breaking Bad. But with this, like you get the same thing, but it's more like the villains as well. You don't see. I'm not going to name them, but you don't see them just. You know that they're safe as well, which makes a difference because you know they can't just go and kill them.
Right.
And the other one, like Jesse could have been killed off quite early on. Like he was originally meant to be killed off in the first series, so you don't know if or when he gets killed off in that series.
Right.
But in this, you know that Saul Goodman's going to live like throughout fine, and then you've got like all the other villains that are going to go on fine. So it's a bit of a weird thing to try and build tension when you know there's going to be no like lasting outcome of that.
Right. I think that's something that all prequels struggle with. No matter what medium it is, if a character that exists in a further along timeline, they're not going to get harmed. And I think the way or Better Call Saul is going to handle that is it's going to put other characters in the same situation that were not in Breaking Bad. And you saw that happen in episode 2. When Saul's in danger, there's 2 other people there with him that could just be killed. And that's where the tension comes from.
Like when you see like a new villain, you can kind of presume that his life is not really that valuable and it might just go any minute, rather than the other things like where you're invested. So it's going to be interesting to see how they deal with it. But the other problem was, by the way, I did love it, even though I'm being quite negative on it.
Yeah.
But it was originally pitched as way more comedy, but it feels like Breaking Bad. Like Breaking Bad had comedic value style like this did, and it kind of feels like the first 2 or 3 seasons at the moment. Like I thought it was going to be quite different when it's kind of the same theme and stuff at the moment.
Yeah, me too. And watching the trailers and some of the promotional stuff that they did for the show before it came out, it looked like they were going for a much more comedic tone. And it was kind of off-putting for a little bit, but I think I like that about Breaking Bad and the world of Breaking Bad is that it's a drama, but it has these moments of comedy which would exist in the real world. If they would have made Saul super animated and this side of the show almost cartoonish, I think that's great, and that's something they could have done, depending on how stylized they could have done it. But I think what they decided to do, taking that feeling that Breaking Bad had with those, the laughable moments, makes it feel like it was in that world. And I think that kind of comforts fans, at least it did for me, knowing that this isn't a show that's going to take those type of tone chances. And I thought that the tone throughout the first 2 episodes was great.
Yeah, I think in that opening 2 minutes there, I think my expectations changed a lot. I was thinking, it's going to be quite different. It's going to be a bit brighter, and then they see that and you think, okay, this is a lot like Breaking Bad. But saying that, it's way brighter at the moment. There's not... They haven't... Like, in the first episode, it didn't get anywhere near as dark as the episode 1 of Breaking Bad did. Well, even though it got quite close to episode 2. I think, it's going to stay a bit less heavy for a while, which I'm excited to see.
Yeah,
and the rating is different, right? Better Call Saul's TV-14 and Breaking Bad was TVMA, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. Like over here, anything past 9 o'clock is just like past 9 o'clock. So, and even though it's on demand over here. But basically, the timeline you see in the first 2 episodes. I won't say much else again in case you haven't seen it. But we see the timeline spread across quite a while. Do you think we'll see that frequently, or do you reckon that was just a thing in the first episode to say here? This is something that happened, or do you reckon they'll be flash forwards more frequently? Or
I really want to see, like in season 2 of Breaking Bad, that continuing scene between the episodes. If we see that, then it continues straight on from that every couple of episodes
to teddy bear and everything
to bleed in. Yeah. If we do that for that intro, leading on to something else, that would be incredible.
Yeah, and that's what I think they're going to do. So I think we'll see a few more of those post Heisenberg moments throughout season 1, and I'm super excited for that.
Do you reckon it will ever not be a prequel? Do you reckon it may evolve to be a sequel, or?
I think.
I don't know. I think it might. I think it'll, at least for season 1. I think it's going to definitely stay a prequel. But I think I've just listening to interviews. Vince Gilligan and the other creators really don't know where they want to take it, and that was kind of interesting because. When they started Breaking Bad, they saw an outcome and they knew where they were working towards. And it seems like here they've built this world, they've established this world, and really what they can do is limitless. And I would love to see them, go post Heisenberg. I think the mood is so depressing after what happened. Not going to spoil anything, but you see Saul in that opening scene. And you really feel what he's feeling, and I think that was done through the black and white and those just amazing camera angles.
See, the thing that also kind of put me down a bit, I have to say I do love it, but there is a few things that's a bit iffy about it. Like I loved it way more. I've basically got 2 gripes. The first one is Vince Gilligan, when this started as a concept of the prequel, was like, I'm gonna assist in making it, but I'm not gonna be the showrunner. But by the interviews he's done, he seemed to be on set for most of it and involved in the writing process and everything. A lot more than he originally was. I
And
personally,
it says he's the co-creator. You know, it pops up.
yeah, but like I personally would have preferred to have seen him gone off and done something else, and then let the guy that showrun have reins on it. Not because the show like doesn't need him, because it kind of does, but I reckon it could have been fine without him on this certain bit. But like imagine a new IP by Vince Gilligan. Like it's been nearly a year and a half now. There could have been a new Vince Gilligan show out by the end of this year if he wasn't doing this.
Yeah.
Something completely new and completely different. Do you not think that would have been nice to have like Better Call Saul with that showrunner and then a new show by Vince Gilligan or?
Yeah, well, I really see him just being in here for season 1, then pulling out afterwards. I think it's given like huge amount of confidence to the viewers as well. So I'd be way more skeptical.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Andrew. I think he's gonna kind of like what David Fincher did with House of Cards. You know, he was a consultant on season 1, and then let it off to all the other writers to take care of season 2, and that the mood carried over, and everything David Fincher did in season 1 of House of Cards was apparent in every other episode of that show. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen here.
But then he said in the pilot that basically he was going to direct the pilot and then let it go. Do you think he's got maybe attachment issues with it? Like, because Breaking Bad is his baby.
Yeah.
And then maybe that's why it's not so comedic, because he wanted to be involved after seeing the pilot and basically gone, I want to be involved more than this. And now he's ended up having basically a more suppressed dark tone on the series because Vince Gilligan has stayed, rather than a more comedic value because he didn't go.
Yeah. I think he does have attachment issues, but I'm kind of glad he does. I think I would have liked to see Better Call Saul go in a more comedic tone, but I'm really happy with what the 2 episodes have shown. And I think in the way I think they're playing it safe, but at the same time, Breaking Bad never played it safe. It was about safety of these characters, but the show was just this elusive beast. And in a way, I think that's what Better Call Saul will become. And just looking back on some of the first episodes of Breaking Bad and comparing those 2 tones from Better Call Saul episode 1 and 2 and Breaking Bad, Better Call Saul is lighter, clearly, but it still has that menace to it, and that it's shot in the same place in Albuquerque, and it has that Albuquerque feel. And knowing what happened in Breaking Bad, and how what happened with Heisenberg and everything, and what happened I'll be careful, but how it affected so many people, and how it affected the viewer, really. I mean, coming off of Breaking Bad, there's something that everybody got from that show. And having that in the back of your mind while watching this was so intentional, and it totally worked for me.
Okay, so it's going to be really interesting to see where it goes with that, because so many passionate people behind it, and seeing where it goes. It's going to be interesting.